I've been a people pleaser all my life, and you would think that as I've gotten older that would have gotten a little bit better. But there's still a little boy inside me who's scared sometimes, oftentimes, of what people think of me. You see, I want to be liked. I want to be loved. And when I sense I'm not, or I'm criticized, or there's conflict, it really can throw me for a loop. Now that goes back to a lot of things in my past, and my childhood, and my history, and we don't need to get into all that. But I wonder if you can identify. I'm a people pleaser, and I still am. And criticism throws me. Because I want to be loved, I want to be liked. And I think even doing these little Sunday sermon messages is a way for me to practice not caring. And I say that in, I don't know, a loving way, that I care about people, but just to not care about what people think so much. Man, do you? I do too much. What will people think, Billy, if you didn't do this, or if you didn't do that? That's kind of the milieu or the culture of the family I grew up in. And so that's always been deep in me. And I think one of the reasons I left the church is the conflict and the criticism. When you're in ministry, it's coming, and it can kill you. And it kind of took its toll on me. And now I have a great sadness in my life, where I'm not a part of the church in the way I would like to be. That's where I belong, and there's no opportunities in the area, and I don't know what will come in the future, and maybe some opportunities I've missed, maybe because I'm too old now. So I fear if I'll ever be back in it. And that's where I belong, so there's that great sadness. But I've learned a thing or two, and I think I do it differently. And I think I've evolved and awakened a little bit to know better who I am and who other people are as well. So I thought for this time, last time there's a phrase that came from a pastor I know, Bill Peterson, trust and proceed. And then I was thinking of other pastors I've known in my life, and are there any phrases from them that have really helped me? And there's one from Norbert Johnson, a beloved pastor at First Covenant, and in my life, and in my family's life, and in my heritage. And Don Johnson and Tim Johnson, you can correct me if I'm wrong and if I've got this all messed up, but in my ministry years, when I would meet with Norbert and just ask him for advice and for wisdom, he shared with me one of his favorite quotes. It was a quote I think he even had written somewhere on an index card or something, or at least that's how I'm remembering it. But he said this: Bill, in order to avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. So, in order to avoid criticism, be nothing. Have no opinion. Don't do anything that matters. Don't be who you are. But the problem is we are not nothings. We are somethings. So we cannot avoid criticism or conflict. It's coming because we have something to say, do, and be that matters. The trumpeter is going by. To be free like a bird. Now, I won't get into singing Free Bird or anything, but criticism is coming because we have something to say, something to do, and something to be. So we don't need to fear when we get in touch with our identity and who we really are. So how do we avoid criticism? Here it is, 2 Timothy 1:7. Get in touch with our identity and who we are in Christ. And here's what that verse says. God did not give us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-control. So be who you are and say what you feel, because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Living free in Christ, living free to love and to care for others without fear of criticism, because we know we are love, made of love, and are extending love. Coming back to our identity of who we are in Christ, a spirit of love, power, and self-control. Yeah, we'll struggle from time to time, we'll get afraid, but God will help us through as we become more and more like Jesus and love. And that power can overcome anything out there or within, even our own fear. So abandon fear and embrace love in Christ. And maybe if we're being criticized, we're doing something right, just like Jesus. So take what's helpful from that. I hope something's helpful from that. And leave the rest. And until next time, may you live all the days of your life.